Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to week 2 of virtual learning. I'm going to go over the learning assignments for the week and clear up some clarifications from last week because the teachers are still learning too, so some things were not sent out exactly the way they should have been. So let's start. You're going to log on to BCPS1 and you're going to click on Schoology. Once you get into Schoology, you're going to continue to progress the way you always do. So you're going to go to Courses and that Homeroom tab. When you get to the Homeroom, you're going to go to the third grade practice resources. And we're going to be looking at week 2, and we're going to go subject by subject. So let's first look at ELA grade 3. For ELA this week, you're going to click on the grade 2 packet. Remember, you can either print this if you want, or you can record your answers in your Writer's Workshop notebook. I'm going to download it because I like to see a bigger version of it. So if you just press this tab right here, it downloads it, and you're just going to click Open, and it's going to open it up. And this week's packet is similar to last week. It has readings with comprehension and also works on fluency. So let's go by it step by step. So you're first going to start by reading this passage, and then at the end of this passage, you're going to answer some questions about the most important details of the passage. As you go along, you'll read through this passage. Sorry, I think my computer froze. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. So we're going to just go through. Oh my. It's loading. There we go. You're going to continue to go through. And then at the end, there are some questions, and you're going to write 3 key details from paragraph 3. Think of your main idea. And then you're going to think of the main idea in paragraph 5 with the 3 details that support this idea. Remember, the main idea is what the whole entire article is about and why they are telling you about it. So not just the main topic, but the main idea. What about that topic does the author want you to know? And then you're going to be looking at the main idea of the entire packet. Again, this fluency section, it's not necessary, but you're welcome to do it and record with your parents. Then we're going to go down and you're going to read about the Lincoln Memorial, and you're going to talk about what type of genre this is and how you know. What is the text feature included? And then another question about cause and effect at the bottom. Then you're going to move on to long O compound words this week for phonics. There's words and you're going to have to sort them. And then you're going to do a writing piece on the bottom and talk about the writing and ending with a concluding sentence. And then you will be writing and revising. A good way, if you want to, you can divide this packet up, do a reading passage on day 1 with some questions, and the next day do the next reading passage with the questions. And then on the third day, so on the first day, you could read about building a landmark and then answering the questions. On Tuesday, you could do the Lincoln Memorial and answer the questions. On Wednesday, you can do long O and compound words. On Thursday, you could do writing and analysis about this writing piece, and then on Friday, you can do the sentence fluency and draft model. That would be a wonderful way to break this packet up so that it's easy and a little bit each day. Along with this packet this week, you also need, I'm going to go back to the 3rd grade ELA folder, you also need to be writing the expository essay with the writing prompt, which is a nonfiction piece of writing. So you can use your paragraphology cards for this week. If you forgot them, just contact your teacher and they'll be happy to help you. But using your paragraphology cards, then you can use one of these prompts to write an expository essay. Remember, that's just a paragraph. If you feel like giving yourself the extra challenge and your teacher has introduced you to the blue cards, we encourage you to take that risk and add the blue cards into your writing. But if you're only comfortable with the 5 sentences, stick with what you're comfortable with. But remember, you are trying to challenge yourself as well. If you have any questions about the essay, please contact your teacher. That is it for ELA this week. Maybe you could work on the essay a little bit each day or just knock it out in one day if you want. I'm going to go back to the main folder and we're going to look at social studies. This week for social studies, there's two things. If you're doing remote learning, the paper copy just printed, it's the same as the PDF. I'm going to download the PDF. And remember, you can just take notes in your Writer's Workshop folder. I'm going to again download it so it's a little bit of a bigger picture for us to see what we're doing this week. And this week, you're going to be looking at some maps and some scales of maps. And then you're going to be looking at the map scales. You're going to be learning about the coordinate system, which I know my homeroom just did with Miss Glass. So you guys have a little bit, and maybe the other classes have already covered that. So that's an important skill for 3rd grade. You're going to continue to be looking at the scale and the map and the longitude and latitude of a map. Practicing, read the directions, because that'll help you. And there's also a brain pop on longitude and latitude if you want to use that as a resource. You're welcome to use other resources. And that looks like what you're working on this week. This page is this packet is about 7 pages, so let's see how we can break it up. On the first day, you could answer these motivation questions and then complete the first page. And then you can do the reading on Tuesday with the 7 questions for Tuesday. And then Wednesday, you could go to the next page and do the questions. Really, whatever works for you and your parents. But just try to come up with a system so it's not so overwhelming for you. All right, so that is social studies for the week. Let's go back to 3rd grade. Let's look at math. So this week for math, if you're doing the paper version, you can copy week 2. Multiplication and division. That's what we're working on this week. And then for the digital version, please be patient with the teachers. We are learning about this digital learning as well. So we reread through the teacher directions this week. So what you're going to do is you can continue to watch the movies this week, multiplication and division. Last week, what the teacher should have assigned you the online benchmark, because if you look at the digital remote learning directions, it says that you should be completing the online culminating benchmark assessment, and the teachers had to assign that to you. And last week, I do not believe we assigned it. So we are just going to be assigning last week's benchmark this week, and we'll just push it back. So how you access that, if you're doing the digital content, if you're doing the paper version, continue to do your paper version and move on to week 2. But if you are doing the online version, you're going to go back to this screen. You're going to go to instructional tools. You're going to go to Pearson, and when you get into Pearson, you're going to click on Math, your class, and then you're going to go to classes. Now mine looks a little different because I'm logged in as a teacher, but when you log in, it's going to have an assignment, and it's just the online benchmark topics 1 to 4. When you click on that, I'm trying to see if I will preview it. Here we go. So when you click on that, it's going to take you here, and it's going to take you through 30 questions. So we have 5 days, so 30 divided by 5 would be 6 questions a day. Please remember to show your work on a piece of scrap paper so that we can understand your thinking and that we know that you are thinking. You can get the questions to read to you. So you can do that, and then you'll figure them. You will fill in your answers. Just make sure you scroll down to do part A and B, and then you will continue through that. If you have any questions, just contact your teacher, but this is the work for math this week, and the videos complement this, so if you're having trouble, go back to a video and see if there's one that can help you. Let's go back to the student. So that is math. Sorry for the confusion last week. We appreciate your patience while we work through this. Let's look at health. Health, you're continuing to work on that project that you started last week. I'm not going to go through it again. If you need directions, you can go to the virtual learning video 1. And then for science, you are continuing to work on the assignments that you did last week with the life cycles and traits. You can break it apart. I would say work on it for about 20 minutes each day, same with health and social studies, and then really focus on math and ELA. If you can, please continue to practice your math facts and do your independent reading. We encourage that. I know Miss Moore and I have started independent reading discussion boards, and we would like you to share. Miss Gleitzman and Miss Wax were chiming in and communicating and talking to you guys, so I think that's a really fun way to stay connected with other faculty members in the building. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your teacher, and we hope you guys have a safe and healthy week. Bye.